It's summertime. These So I wanted to give you a video about all of the different locations I found in New York City to shoot your content. So this is part of our content series, and if you are in New York, you probably are either exhausted of using the same photo locations as everyone else, or you're new to the city and you have yet to explore. So I am here with all of my places that you can go to take your next Instagram pics to have the gram looking litty. The Starbucks Reserve on 14th Street in Chelsea. This is like a massively huge Starbucks that is super cool, super hip. It is crowded, so I would recommend getting there in the morning or right before closing. There is a wine bar upstairs. There's a huge coffee bean situation in the center. I've said this in all my videos. I don't know when you guys are gonna actually get to it. My Pinterest boards have a bazillion of different ideas of how you can shoot some content, because let's be honest, everyone's content is kind of starting to look the same, whether you're shooting a TikTok video or you're shooting Instagram or blog photos, whatever, what have you. These locations, we're going to help you spice it up a little bit. So as you're in Chelsea, there are a lot of art galleries. And honestly, if you're not into the art scene, you don't really know how they work. You literally just walk right in. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to say anything. Just be mindful that some galleries have a no photography kind of policy. Other ones don't care. A lot of times the people who are working these galleries could care less about you and your life. So as long as you don't break anything or rip anything or touch anything, you can go there and shoot to your heart's content. And if you don't believe me, check out this super fire video I shot in an art gallery located in Soho. Since we've skipped to Soho, I'm going to talk to you really quickly about the Soho Hotel. Now, this is one that a lot of people do shoot at because it has the arches. It's not as crowded as you would think, which means while you're shooting, especially if you're by yourself with your tripod, just have confidence. No one cares. No one honestly cares. Okay, I have the Public Hotel as another one. You'll notice this one, I believe, is the one with the illuminated escalators going down. So you've probably seen that one 1,000 times. So we'll skip all the way up to Harlem. A lot of people don't go to Harlem. I don't know why, but there is a Harlem Conservatory Garden. I went there, stumbled upon it one day, meant to go back to shoot, but kind of just ran out of time. Alright guys, so we're talking about the Frick Collection next. The Frick Collection is a small private art collection that you can pay a small fee to enter into. They have a beautiful inner garden. And they also have galleries. I do believe that there is different pricing depending on the day of the week, depending on which galleries you go into, but it's worth a try because not anyone really goes there. The Bronx Botanical Garden. So the Bronx Botanical Garden is a huge and massive space of gardens. They have greenhouses for if you want to shoot during the winter. Overthrow New York, NYC. Overthrow NYC is actually a small boxing gym. They have their whole outside set up. It's super cool. The way it's set up with like old TVs and different things. If you can't tell, I love old TVs. But it is really cute with the neon lights, so it would be perfect for like an evening portrait or something of that sort. Beyonc is a restaurant that has this cutest facade. And then Olio E Piú is also another French-inspired restaurant in New York. I believe I was researching for cafe-inspired for a cafe shoot, and these were the two that I came up with. They are on opposite sides of the city, but both are worth a check out. Blank Slate Tea is actually in, I believe, Koreatown, and it is a really cute little restaurant, which also brings me to the next one, which is El Room Cafe. This is also another really cute pink-inspired cafe to have some really cute pictures, and all the Koreatown restaurants have really photographic food. Another location that is a favorite of mine, I shot here by myself once and I wanted to go back and reshoot, just never found the time. It is the cutest, prettiest, and if you shoot it at that blue hour or right at golden hour, you'll probably get some of the greatest light. Another art gallery, this one is a little bit further out. It is called the Dia Beacon. Dia is a museum collective, and I believe there's a few different locations, but the Beacon location is I believe a little bit up outside of the city. Bloody Bend in Chinatown. So this is nicknamed Bloody Bend because of all of the murders that took place here back in the day. But it is this really curved street in Chinatown that, depending on, again, what you're shooting, could be fire. During Chinese New Year, they do decorate the whole street, which is like painting on the ground. It is so pretty. Okay, so the Edge. The Edge is something new that just opened up. The Edge is actually located in that tall building. Listen, I'll be putting addresses down in the links all across the screen as much as I can. It is the tallest observatory deck in New York City, and the floors are glass, and the walls are glass, and everything is glass, 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 and it's supposed to feel like you're on the edge. Just no jumping. So the Oculus is that funky looking white building thing that they built down by the 9/11 memorial, and inside of it just looks so clean, even though it's been there forever. And it's, or if you go early in the morning, during the week, or in the middle of the day during the week, like a day where, because of that district being like the financial district and people being at work, think, when are people at work or when are they not around? And that's when you can get some of the coolest shots. Right, this one is not really a surprise. It's the Brooklyn Bridge, but it's how you do the Brooklyn Bridge. At sunrise. You have no other option, but you have to do the Brooklyn Bridge at sunrise because it gets way too crowded. I did it at sunrise in the middle of the winter time. It was so cold that my screen and my phone actually shut off because it was that cold out there when I went on the Brooklyn Bridge. There is a vintage train car which I took my mom on by accident and happenstance. She hated it. She made me ride one stop with her and get off, but it was so cool because people were dressing up in kind of 1920s, 30s inspired outfits and standing outside this car. It literally has train cars from pretty much every era that the NYC Transit Museum is what it's called. It was running all the way up until present day. So you have the train cars with like the ceiling fans in them and like the old advertisements on them. It does get packed, especially because I think when they were running it, it was around Christmas time. So it does get packed. So we're at the Seaport District. We're going to talk about Pier 25. Pier 25, if I got this right, it is on the Seaport side, and it is just docked by these beautiful boats. They also have these different installations by artists. When I went, there was like a rainbow installation. I don't know if it's still there, but they have different installations that they put in there. And even if the installations aren't there, it has all of this kind of seating that is like staggered, which would be great if you are shooting by yourself on the tripod. You can kind of hit it like here and then stand further away. The next is called The Corner. It is a taco shop that actually makes really good tacos in Soho, towards the end of Soho. And The Corner is a place where people stand in the corner and take photos. It's kind of an iconic location. It's a very old location, and it is a nice location because it kind of, I think it's two streets that meet at like a diagonal. Hudson Yards. So Hudson Yards are relatively new. It's where if you go, you see the vessel, that thing that they built that is usually pretty crowded, but all around that area they've kind of built it out to have nice outdoorsy seating areas and areas where people can enjoy themselves. So honestly, just kind of walking from like wherever there's a tourist attraction, if you just walk 2 blocks over or 3 blocks over, generally it's pretty well maintained because they want to attract tourists to those areas, but it's not as crowded as the actual thing that their people are coming to see. I found this tire shop because I knew I wanted to do a tire shop kind of photo, and so I simply just googled tire shops in New York, and it's actually right next to Hudson Yards. And I was just asked the guy, I was like, hey, can I just take some photos here with your tires? And he was like, sure. And my favorite hotel, Ludlow Hotel, is right next to Soho House, Ludlow Soho House, which I absolutely love. So the Ludlow Hotel has these beautiful white and black tile bathrooms, which are just to die for. I haven't had a chance to shoot in here, and I've been really trying to figure out when I could just like take a day off from work and just stay at this hotel and shoot, because they have a great rooftop and then the rooms are awesome. There is a hotel which you're not allowed to really shoot in there, but if you buy a room, they can't tell you no. It is called the Beckman. And it's a vintage hotel from like I think the 20s or the 30s, and they've redone it and it's so fire, but it is expensive to stay there. And sorry, my mom is outside the window. The Time Out Market is actually a great place to go and eat, as well as to go hang out and just be in the area. So there's actually a theater there, and there is inside of the actual market, there's of course Soho Dumbo House. There is a bunch of different shops. I believe like Carousel Anthropology, and there are a like almost I think 40 different restaurants or eateries inside of this location. It's kind of cafeteria style, and there are levels to it. Like a lot of times you get stuck on that first level, but if you go up, there's even sitting areas, and the view is just fantastic. You're in between the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge, and it just is beautiful. We walk outside and we see that there is this beautiful carousel. Again, it's a very old carousel, and it's all lit up. This would be a beautiful engagement area. This would be a beautiful just area to take nighttime photos, because if you got it at that golden hour, you have the Manhattan Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge, the carousel, Time Out Market's done beautifully. It's just all around good area to shoot in. Alright guys, so the last location is one that is really special to me, and this is the Apollo Theater. I grew up watching the Apollo Theater, and the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, it's Apollo Theater. So it's all the way in Harlem, and it's worth it to go and visit and get it while the lights are up. It's on the main strip. Of course, it will never not be crowded and lit up at the same time, so you're just going to have to go for it. But everyone in that location is going to be really nice to you and really supportive of you slaying in the street. So just go ahead and just go for the shot. So Time Out Magazine is a great resource for you to find out what's happening in the city, to find new places to eat, as well as to read just like stuff on the train. They give out those magazines for free, usually around Monday mornings. I used to always get them on my way to work. There's just some random guy standing there on the corner, or young people who just be handing out the Time Out magazines. So those were great, because if you just pick something in the magazine to do that week, you're already ahead of the game and getting to experience more of New York City. New York is a wonderful place to experience. You just have to be willing to try new things. So until next time, guys, peace.